Today on MHK All Day, we'll learn what vaccination mandates K-State is implementing. Then we'll take a look at how students are feeling about this week's homecoming activities. And later, how a K-State men's basketball player ended up in the Little Apple. Stay tuned for all this and more. This is MHK All Day. Welcome back to another edition of MHK All Day. I'm Dawson Wagner. On today's show, we'll have some creative costume ideas that you can make at home, and a history about how homecoming traditions have come to be. Plus, a look into the man's life whose students have been bringing that sound to the Ville for the past 15 years. But first, a look at our news in 90 seconds.
Good morning and welcome back to News in 90. In this week's news, Kansas State has announced a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for all university staff. All faculty, including student employees, must be fully vaccinated before December 8th of this year. It was determined that Kansas universities and their employees fall under the executive order issued by President Biden requiring federal employees to receive the vaccine. In other COVID news, USD 383 has voted for a temporary lift on the mask mandate at Manhattan High School. Starting November 1st, students will not be required to wear masks.
If we start to see an upward trend, the administration has the ability to reverse it at any time. So if suddenly next week we start having numbers go back up, we could decide to change it before the end of the November trial period.
After 3 weeks, numbers will be evaluated to determine if the policy change should be reversed. To wrap up our News in 90, elections for City Commission will be November 2nd. K-State faculty member Marcus Kidd is running for a seat in the Manhattan City Commission. For more information regarding polling locations and advanced voting times, visit rileycountyks.gov/128/elections. That's all the time we have for this week. Back to you, Dawson.
Thanks, Kate. Over the last 2 months, student organizations around campus have been working together to make this year's homecoming a success. I found out what they're changing and keeping from past year's traditions.
The thing that is good about what we do is it's a tradition. It's been around long enough that the students expect it, they want it, and I think our community does as well. Participation with the students has been amazing. I don't know if you've been around at any of them yet, but yeah, you can tell the energy is very lively this year, and I'm sure it's because we're back. Well, I haven't gotten numbers yet on what we had for audience in our Panther Chant and Wildcat Request Live, but both of those events were held in Bramlage, and I do know Bramlage at WRL, we were from corner to corner, and it was pretty much packed, so I think we had a really good crowd.
With Homecoming 2021 being back in person, how have things changed, and when did some of the traditions that are still around today get started?
It started more than 100 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about, but when we thought about our campus traditions, celebrations, our graduates that have come from K-State, before homecoming, there wasn't really much of anything that was really happening. And so the students wanted to come together to think of ways to help instill those traditions. And so that's kind of how homecoming was born, with different events that really were student-centered and focused. And I would say that that's been what's been kept consistent throughout its history, as really was focusing on current students. Of course, for the alumni piece, there's a lot of great things happening that alumni can appreciate to kind of make them think back to their days in college, whether it be like different events and whatnot for them to admire, but really keeping students at the helm of it all for focusing on homecoming.
With keeping students and alumni in mind for all of K-State's homecoming events, there's one that started less than 25 years ago called the K-State Student Ambassador Program, which combines both alumni involvement and student engagement. I'm currently voting for this year's student ambassador right here, and was able to learn from the current student ambassador, Bennett Shipley, about who they are.
First three candidates, we have Lily Chen, Colleen Fulton, Stasia Mendoza. All of these candidates are very involved. Most of them are in Greek life. For the other three candidates, we have Josh Diaz de Leon, Albert Haltzel, and Carson Byers. They're also really involved in many different things, anything from SGA to working with athletics. I think they're all very well-rounded candidates. They went through a multi-interview process, so they're all well-rounded and they will all do a great job, whoever's chosen. It's really nice to see us come back and put on homecoming as it should be.
Now, we wanted to find out more about what students on campus thought about homecoming, so MHK All Day reporter Kate Kennedy has more in the Pulse.
We're on campus today inside the Union to ask students their thoughts on Kansas State's homecoming week and ask what homecoming means to them.
Well, since I'm not in Greek life, it's really not that big of a thing to me. Like, it's cool to see everyone else having fun and stuff, but since I'm not involved, it's not too big of a deal.
Our sorority is just kind of filled with homecoming stuff right now. We're working on our parade flow and WRL and Panther Chant have all been a big thing.
We just have to spend a lot of time like pomping together and doing stuff like that, setting it up, and it's a lot of hours.
Without being in a sorority, I would have any involvement in it probably, so.
It's fun because, you go down there and you pomp or do whatever with everyone else, and then you get to meet new people from whatever house.
I do think it's a cool thing to kind of bring the whole community together, K-State family together. I think it's pretty cool.
So I'm also an international student, so I've been attending a lot of international student events. I've been involved with those organizations. And Homecoming Parade has an international student section for it, where we get to carry the flags of our country along with the parade.
Yeah, for the parade, we just basically decorate a trailer.
Ryan Cole is going to be wearing my Spartan helmet on our float, so that is going to be the best thing this weekend, so easily.
Homecoming week kind of means excitement to me. With Student Alumni Board, we are doing so many things during the homecoming week. I love to see all the families coming into the town.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the football game this weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of energy, especially because we all have just been so focused on homecoming and just coming together, all of us in that K-State family aspect of the week.
It gives me good high school vibes, like that close-knit family almost. And so coming to a ginormous school like K-State, it's cool to see that it's still that close family.
To wrap up homecoming week, be sure to check out the parade this Friday evening and cheer on our Cats as they take on TCU Saturday afternoon for the homecoming football game. For MHK All Day, I'm Kate Kennedy.
Thanks, Kate. Coming up later in the show on Bernie Say What, she'll be showing us some last-minute DIY costumes featuring a special guest. Plus, the K-State football team is back home this weekend after bringing back an exhilarating victory. All this up next.
So within industrial engineering, you can actually start your master's degree a year early and start taking those classes your senior year. And then after you go through those upper level courses, you only really have a year left and you would come out with your bachelor's and master's degree, which is something I have been considering just because, it's one extra year and I do love K-State. So it's win-win. But that's a perk with being an industrial engineer. You're able to get your master's degree in just one extra year.
Kansas State's athletic program does not like to postpone until tomorrow what can be accomplished today.
It's going to be tied into Bramlage with some upgrades to Bramlage in terms of the Legends Room. Is now going to be 7 times bigger than it currently is with new entrances on the east and west side. So that facility, the South End Zone project, is going to touch both Bramlage in a very positive way and obviously finish off the stadium look and feel.
Upon arrival, I'm like, oh, these people love football. These people are nuts about Kansas State. And Saturday morning, swarms of people outside of the stadium tailgate. We come in, it's about 45 minutes before game time. The stadium's packed. And I'm like, this is the atmosphere. Whenever I dream of playing college football, this is exactly what I see. The chants, the music, everything. And just throughout the entire game, it was just a place that I knew I had to be.
Are you stressed because you don't have a costume for Halloween? Well, on the show that inspires, aspires, and speaks with fire, we'll see some last-minute costume ideas that'll take you from stress to your best on our segment, Bernie Say What?
Bernie Say What? Hello and welcome to this spooky edition of Bernie Say What? And today I have special guest Parker. Parker, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Bernie. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Of
so
course.
today me and Parker are going to show y'all some last minute DIY costumes. Okay, because I know you're wondering like, why is this girl on camera in her pajamas? well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to let you know. For the tired moms, you know, I have something for the parents. Gotta have something for the parents. For the tired moms, I have the pajamas, you know. You already gonna be in your pajamas and your kid just coming and they like, hey mom, take me trick-or-treating. And you don't feel like getting dressed up. So you can just throw on a cute little sleeping mask, boot, some comfortable shoes, and then you're ready to roll, okay? You're going as a tired mom for Halloween, okay?
Looking good.
So now we're gonna get changed and show you what we have for our next few outfits. So for this outfit, you'll need a black top of your choice, red bottoms, yellow shoes. I have yellow sandals, but you can have any type of yellow shoe of your liking. And then you'll also need some ears. For this outfit, you'll need a K-State jersey or a jersey of your choice, and you'll also need some basketball shorts. Bonus if you got a basketball. Okay, you guessed it. Well, hopefully you guessed it. So Minnie Mouse is what we try to do here. So we got the little ears, got the little red bottoms, got the shirt, and the little yellow sandals to symbolize her little heels. And then so we're gonna see what Parker came up with. Let's take a sneaky peek and see what he got in store for us. Okay, hopefully you guessed it.
Oh, that's right. I'm a K-State basketball player.
Okay.
Bringing out my inner Mike McGurl, Nigel Pack. Does it look like I'm ready for game day?
I think so. You know, add a little basketball on Halloween.
Oh,
Might be a little fun. Okay. Okay. Now we gonna see. You got one more?
I do.
I got one more too. Let's see who we come up with. For this outfit, you'll need a white button-down shirt. Bonus if you have a blazer to look all that more professional. Plus, it'd be cold on Halloween, so it might help with the shivers. And then you'll need a black pencil skirt, and you'll need some heels or flats of your choice, you know. Y'all want to be walking with your heels on. And then you'll also need some glasses. That's the bonus item. For this outfit, you'll need a tutu of any colors. The more colors, the better. A white top and some white tights or white ruffle socks.
All right, you guessed it. I'm a ballerina with my colorful tutu. Don't you think I look ready for the dance pageant? I think so too. You could do this as well. It's not that hard. I mean, you'll get a laughter for sure. A guy dressed as a ballerina, who wouldn't want to see that? And we have Bernie coming up with her costume.
Yes, I'm just finishing my last minute adjustments here. Let's see. Okay, so hopefully you guessed it that I'm a teacher. Okay, and you can add your glasses for some stylish looks, you know. Give a little bang bang, just make sure they're not prescription. They mess up your eyes. I do have on heels, but you know, you ain't gonna want on heels when you're doing the trick-or-treating, okay? That's a lot of walking. We don't want that. But cute little flats to also tie this look together. And if you don't want to wear your glasses all night, boop, pop them in the shirt, like so. And you still look like a teacher. Add a book, add an apple. I don't know if you want to carry an apple either, but you have a little bag. You can carry that around in there, a little teacher's bag, you know. But yeah, so that's it for this Bernie Say What segment. Thank you again for joining me, Parker.
Thank you, Bernie.
Coming out in your costume.
Right.
But yes, join me back next week, and we'll come with some more fun things on Bernie Say What.
Happy Halloween.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how one K-State basketball player from the Big Apple made his way to the Little Apple. And later, we'll head into the garage to learn what one K-State faculty member is doing to connect his students with the local jazz scene. That and more coming up.
I went on my campus tour. They had like the Baja racing teams, all the parts and everything on display, and I was like, that's super cool. My first year, we made robots, made a line following robot, assembled it and coded it. My current major is biomedical engineering. It's like a jack of all trades since you take coding from computer science and then some stuff from electrical. It's kind of just like a mix of like all the like main departments of college engineering, and this is the spot for me.
Kansas State's athletic program does not like to postpone until tomorrow what can be accomplished today.
It's going to be tied into Bramlage with some upgrades to Bramlage in terms of the Legends Room. Is now going to be 7 times bigger than it currently is, with new entrances on the east and west side. So that facility, the South End Zone project, is going to touch both Bramlage in a very positive way, and obviously finish off the stadium look and feel.
Upon arrival, I'm like, oh, these people love football. Like, these people are nuts about Kansas State. And Saturday morning, I mean, swarms of people outside of the stadium tailgating. We come in, it's about 45 minutes before game time. The stadium's packed. And I'm like, this is the atmosphere. Whenever I dream of playing college football, this is exactly what I see. The chants, the music, everything. And just throughout the entire game, I mean, it was just a place I knew I had to be.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Tomorrow afternoon, the K-State Wildcats look to earn their win in Bill Snyder Family Stadium for the first time in over a month. Last week, the Cats ended a 3-game losing skid in a come-from-behind victory against Texas Tech, 25-24.
Coach Chris Kleiman says that the victory was a much-needed confidence booster for the team.
They've been working hard. They've been frustrated. They needed it big time. They really did.
After going down 14-0 early in the game, Kleiman says that the guys didn't panic and always had belief.
Nobody panicked on the sideline, but kept talking about the belief. I really felt all along these guys did not think they were losing this game.
During the week leading up to victory, there was one message that stood out to the team, and that was accountability.
I think communicating more in practice, holding my teammates accountable. I believe in my teammates, the leaders, the captains, coaches that we have. We're going to keep grinding and have no regrets. That's the way I look at it every day.
For Kleiman, he understands the magnitude of the Texas Tech victory and the confidence that it brought, but he also says that it's time to move on to TCU.
Confidence leads to belief, and when you have belief as a football player, if you have belief as a team, that becomes contagious, and that's what we have to continue to work on for consistency purposes. Now we have to turn the page and get ready for a really good TCU team. That's going to be a great ball game here this Saturday like it's been the last few years.
Kickoff tomorrow is scheduled for 2:30 p.m. Currently sitting at 4-3, the Wildcats will look to improve their record in Big 12 conference play while chasing bowl eligibility. Also, the K-State men's basketball team will begin their 2021-22 campaign next Thursday against Pittsburgh State in Bramlage Coliseum. After 2 straight losing seasons, Coach Bruce Weber has overhauled the roster, bringing in 7 newcomers. One of the transfers is originally from the Big Apple and is now in the Little Apple, attempting to bring winning back to the program.
Marquis Noel grew up in Harlem, New York, and was no stranger to the game of basketball, in part due to his father, Marcus.
He put the ball in my hands when I was younger, and that's when I grew a love and passion for the game. Growing up, when I was with my father, I was about 3rd grade. We used to go from park to park, just walk around with a basketball, going to different parks, working out for about 1 to 2 hours.
The days playing in the historic street ball courts in New York City with his dad is where he says that he learned to shoot.
He always knew that shooting is a big part of basketball, and if you're able to shoot, you could pretty much play anywhere. So that just led me to working on deep range shots, logo shots at a consistent rate.
At 5'7", Noel will never be the tallest on the floor, but he says that when opponents underestimate him, it brings him great motivation.
I love when people underestimate me. I love when people see my size and be like, he can't do this or that. That just gives me a flame in my heart and a chip on my shoulder that will never leave me, because whenever I step on the court, the opponents always feel like they got an advantage because they're taller. Being an underdog is like a blessing, and I love it.
Despite his offensive skill, Noel says that he takes pride in his defense as well.
Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And I've always been a a firm believer in that. And I feel like being my size, I can't wait till the opponent gets to half court and run a set. So I have to, put pressure on them in a full court.
For Noel, he says that getting his teammates involved is one of his favorite parts of the game.
I love passing. Like, that's an underrated skill that I have. I have a high basketball IQ. So when I'm around other good players, I know how to play with them. When y'all see us play this year, y'all going to feel us. Y'all going to feel the energy, and y'all going to love what we have this year.
The Wildcats will also return 4 of their top 5 scorers from a year ago, led by sophomore guard Nigel Pack. Also back is senior guard Mike McGurl, who elected to use his extra year of eligibility that came along with the COVID-19 pandemic. And this football season marked the first in which the brand new Shamrock Zone was open for K-State fans, and there are imminent plans to construct several more athletic facilities. In just a few months, multiple athletics projects are set to begin, and both facilities are expected to be completed within 10 to 18 months.
We're going to start on in December the volleyball and Olympic training venue, and then shortly after that, or maybe in conjunction at the same time, the indoor football facility. Those will be, collectively, those 3 are going to be about $130 million in facility construction.
And last night, the K-State soccer team lost a hard-fought match against Iowa State. After the match, the squad's 4 seniors were honored for their contributions to the program. Well, that's all we have for sports this week, but stay right there because coming up next, we'll meet one of K-State's distinguished professors and learn how he is helping students connect with the Manhattan jazz scene.
I went on my campus tour. They had like the Baja racing teams, all the parts and everything on display, and I was like, that's super cool. My first year, we made robots, made a line following robot, assembled it and coded it. And my current major is biomedical engineering. It's like a jack of all trades since you take coding from computer science and then some stuff from electrical. It's kind of just like a mix of all the main departments of college engineering, and this is the spot for me.
Kansas State's athletic program does not like to postpone until tomorrow what can be accomplished today.
It's going to be tied into Bramlage with some upgrades to Bramlage in terms of the Legends Room. Is now going to be 7 times bigger than it currently is, with new entrances on the east and west side. So that facility, the South End Zone project, is going to touch both Bramlage in a very positive way, and obviously finish off the stadium look and feel.
Upon arrival, I'm like, oh, these people love football. Like, these people are nuts about Kansas State. And Saturday morning, I mean, swarms of people outside of the stadium tailgating. We come in, it's about 45 minutes before game time. The stadium's packed. And I'm like, this is the atmosphere. Whenever I dream of playing college football, this is exactly what I see. The chants, the music, everything. And just throughout the entire game, I mean, it was just a place I knew I had to be.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. If you've ever been in Aggieville on a Sunday morning, you've probably heard the sounds of live jazz as you walk down the street. This week, host Zach Perez took the garage 1 floor down from its usual recording studio to meet the man whose students have been bringing that sound to the Ville for the past 15 years.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another segment of The Garage. This week I have a very special guest, this University Distinguished Professor Wayne Goins. Wayne, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Alright, so Wayne, the original reason that I actually wanted to interview you was because I had seen you performing at Blue STEM just occasionally. I'll be honest, I didn't even know that you were a professor here before that. But how did you get started with the performances at Blue STEM?
The Blue STEM Bistro has been a traditional place that most of my students have gotten sort of their sort of apprenticeship in terms of performing live. We've held that position on Sundays. This has got to be maybe 10, 15 years now.
Wow.
It's been a long time. I've had several generations of students who have played there and gone on to master's degrees, some going on to doctorate degrees. And it's usually in terms of a combo, like 3 or 4 piece. Sometimes it's just a duo, just several generations who played there on Sunday. So it's kind of a tradition. And me and Rick started doing it. I'm trying to think how many years we've been doing it as a duo. I think 4 or 5 years now.
4 or 5, okay.
And so, yeah, and people show up on Sundays just to hear us play, which is really nice.
And you mentioned the name Rick. Is that another professor here? Or?
No, Rick Smith is a former student of mine, who guitar student of mine, who graduated years ago, and sort of became, now he's sort of, I mean, obviously he's a professional, but he was a student years back, and he's sort of my right-hand man right now, and you may have noticed when we play, he kind of can read my mind, and it's because we've been playing together for so long, we've established a very, very close musical relationship, and also sort of a friend, brother-friend relationship.
I know you have a very large background in music, specifically in jazz. You're a very well-known guitarist. Can you talk a little bit about just, a very brief summary of just like how you kind of got into music?
Well, I started in music pretty much from the time I was born. I just have a natural gift for guitar. I have a natural ear for music. My father was a blues harmonica player. I was born and raised in Chicago, on the South Side. And my father knew all of the legendary blues musicians, Muddy Waters and Little Walter and all of those guys. He grew up, knowing those guys. And I grew up listening to all of those recordings that they did on Chess Records. So I developed a real natural ear for music, and I can kind of hear just about anything and kind of play it back. And so I've been playing music all of my life. Every year for Christmas, I got a toy guitar until I got a real one. My uncle Jimmy Jones, who was a blues guitar player, gave me my first real guitar. And so I kind of started playing from that point. I played all through high school. I played rock, blues, funk, everything. I first started really getting into jazz in my last couple of years of high school.
How did you first come to K-State? Did you come specifically to kind of head up the jazz department?
Actually, yeah, I did. In my last year at Florida State, when I was getting my doctorate degree, we were at a music ed conference in Phoenix, Arizona. And oddly enough, Frank Trace, the band director right down the hall, came to one of our sort of, everybody has their own conference room. Florida State had their sort of conference room. Frank Trace came to the Florida State room, and I had never been to Phoenix, and so I heard that he was looking for me. He said, some guy's looking for you. I'm like, I've never been to Phoenix. Nobody's looking for me in Phoenix. I said, no, he asked for you by name. So he showed up. I saw him in the sort of the one of the lines, and he was standing there to get some food, and he said, are you Wayne Goins? I said, yeah. He said, I'm Frank Trace, the director of the bands at Kansas State University. I would like to talk to you, take you to lunch and talk to you about maybe coming to Kansas State. The next day we went to like a lunch, and he talked to me and asked me if I could teach jazz improvisation. I said, yes. Can you teach jazz theory? Yes. I said, I think you're my guy. I said, okay. So he said, I'll set up an interview for you. And so he did a phone interview. Passed that with flying colors. Then they flew me out here. Passed that with flying colors, and by the time I left, I pretty much knew this was where I was going to be. That happened in 1998.
Oh, okay, so you've been here for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been here for 22 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Professor Goins and his students can be heard live every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Blue Stem Bistro down in the Ville. And for those interested in learning more about the jazz program here at K-State, you can visit the link below for more information. Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's show, and make sure to join us back on November 12th for more of The Scoop on the Little Apple. This has been MHK All Day.